Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your February 2016 love reading. It's Raina here. So, I feel like some of you may be defending yourself for some reason, or at the very least, are wary of a relationship that has recently started. Obviously, this is a general reading, so there may be various scenarios for various people. The first card I picked is the Nine of Wands, which indicates somebody who has their guard up. And for some people, it may be because of the strife in a marriage. And for some of you, you may be going through divorce proceedings. And so this card is just showing that you are standing your ground and you're not letting the other party walk all over you. For some people, this may actually represent a new relationship that has come in. You still have not given your heart to this person because you have a hard time trusting that it's real. The reason that you are experiencing this is the Ace of Swords. So it's one of those deals where it could be um, some new beginning, but the beginning is coming about because of conflict, because the swords represents either arguments or some sort of battle. And it's a strong card to have. It's just that you are having to start over in the midst of some not too harmonious circumstances. So immediately I thought of somebody who is getting divorced and is having to live on their own, do their own thing, and yet is it's happening due to a broken relationship. The higher perspective is the death card, and it's very interesting because in the astrological chart, Scorpio rules the eighth house, and one of the things of the eighth house is death. And Scorpios tend to gravitate towards the darker side of life sometimes because they're not afraid of it. And the macabre, the underbelly. And with this card, I think that the higher perspective to view the situation is that everything has a season. And so if you may have felt emotionally distraught over losing a relationship, the better way of looking at it is saying now it was good for that time and it served a purpose, and now it's time for something else, so that you can see things in a more expansive way. Death is inevitable. And death is really just temporary. It's a transition. That's all it is. If we identify with death, then we think that it's a finality that is eternally final, instead of seeing that it's just the end of a season. The advice is the Nine of Swords, which is the card related to somebody who is up in the middle of the night, worried about what is happening or what could happen. And I think in the advice position, this is simply saying that you're really bringing this on yourself. And I think what this card is suggesting is that you make sure not to fall into this trap, especially if you've been going through a lot of stress, because we really do create our own reality at the end of the day. You do have to take control of your thought patterns because they will affect your emotional state, and that will affect everything around you. And how you do that is up to you. Some people find that they really benefit from meditation because it causes you to look at your monkey mind, how your thoughts jump from one to the other, and they just keep generating without any kind of basis in reality. And so you get carried away with yourself. That's the problem with worry, is that it is only harmful and doesn't do anything positive. And Scorpio, being a fixed water sign, tends to get very stuck in an emotional rut because there's a certain stubbornness there. When you guys have a feeling, it's very hard for you to shake that feeling. And you have to learn how to be more flexible. There is a saying in the Tao that the branch that doesn't bend will break. And this is the card of somebody who is at the breaking point. And really, a lot of that is self generated because you're in this pattern of negative thinking. The challenge card is the Six of Cups, which is actually a very nice card of the childhood innocence, nostalgia coming to you, pleasant memories of the past. In the challenge position, this may be an attitude you have where nothing currently matches up with whatever you have had in the past, whether it's a person, a place, or a thing. And this is very unfortunate because this can lead to people who reject perfectly good circumstances because the ideal is not being met. And they have this yardstick that probably is a little bit distorted because of time. It's easy to romanticize about the past when you're not living in it. And I wanted to say with this card that it may be that some of you have actually experienced the death of a loved one. And that was why I got the death card. And it's causing you to feel very guarded about a new relationship. Likely it was the death of a spouse, a partner, but it could be somebody else that still caused you to feel a sense of grief, and your heart just isn't ready to totally trust in relationships because you feel like that one was wrenched from you. So the Six of Cups may be kind of indicating that you're thinking a lot about the past and being nostalgic about your relationship to that person. It could even be a family member, really. It could be anybody that you have an attachment to, that you feel this sense of loss. And now that you're trying to move on, you're kind of stuck in this need to defend yourself from future pain. It might be one of those deals. But the outcome is the King of Cups. Now, as you know, or maybe you don't, the cups suit in the tarot connect to water signs like you, Scorpio, and Cancer and Pisces. So the King of Cups is somebody who is in control of their emotions and is using them with other people in the most constructive and empowering way, rather than the Queen of Cups would be more of an internal thing that's happening. And so this is really an externalizing of a healthy emotional state that you have the ability to eventually come into if you really take the time to heal from the things that have been causing you this sort of pain. And Scorpio, it just amazes me how month after month I do love readings for you. And I get pretty intense cards. I can't remember the last time I got lighthearted cards for you. And maybe this is just par for the course for someone of your sign because you tend to be very intense people and very emotional, but also very profound individuals. Nobody would ever accuse a Scorpio person of being shallow. And so perhaps there's nothing wrong with intensity because one of your rulers, Pluto, is in part a planet of transformation. And this is how we expand, this is how we grow in life, is that we never stay stagnant and we always change into a better version of ourselves. So I hope that whatever is going on for you, that you still have a wonderful time and that you allow love to come into your life in whatever form it shows up as. And I wish all the best, Scorpio. If you'd like a personal reading, just click on the link below. Take care.